and welcome to Michelle versus the Scale. I'm Michelle and today I'm going to be talking about alphabet soup, bariatric acronyms and language. So when I first started researching bariatric journey for myself, there was a lot of acronyms and they're not always explained, so I thought good place to start is to explain all the acronyms. So I've got a list. And so if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my list. I'll try and put them on here if I figure out how to do that, because I'm new at this YouTubing thing. So to start off with, probably some of the basic ones you'll hear when you first start researching bariatric surgery. WLS, which just stands for weight loss surgery. It's a blanket term for all the different surgeries available that contribute to weight loss, such as what I'm having, a VSG. That stands for vertical sleeve gastrectomy, also usually just referred to as a gastric sleeve or a sleeve. Then we've got the RNY, which is pronounced Ru-an-Y, I think, which is a type of bypass surgery. And then we've got the lesser known ones, which aren't really recommended in New Zealand anymore, the AGB, adjustable gastric band. And then you've also, coming under that sort of one, you have balloons. Because these are only temporary things, they're not really done in New Zealand anymore. I do know that they are still done overseas and they used to be really popular, but any of my friends that have had them in the past have had major problems with either of those. So if you were thinking about getting one of those, make sure you do your research first before going on that journey, because there's a lot of problems with them. The lesser one that I've seen around, but is still there, is the BP-DS, and excuse my pronunciation on this, biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch. Obviously you can Google all of these things to find out what they are and how they work. I'm not going to explain that here, but that's what those things mean. Next up, we have ones that I see often posted in my Facebook group that I belong to, and that's HW, CW, SWGW. So that just stands for HW, high weight. So that's the most that you've weighed before. And then CW, current weight. Whenever you're posting, that's just whatever weight you currently are. SW is surgery weight, so this is the weight that you were on your surgery day. And then GW is your goal weight, the weight you wish to go to. Tied in with that sort of thing that people will often talk about is BMI, body mass index. You can just Google, there's a formula to do with your weight and your height and sometimes your waist measurement to figure out your BMI. And it's, yeah, there's a lot of apps and programs, and you just Google it and something will pop up and you'll be able to put in your weight and your height and it'll figure out for you. I mostly use my app on my phone, which is the Fitbit app, to figure this out for me. And then the other one that gets talked about a lot in our group is NSV, and this stands for non-scale victory. So this is something that you're proud of but doesn't have to do with your actual weight, and it can be something like, I managed to walk up a set of stairs without feeling out of breath. I managed to get into knee-high boots and they zipped all the way up. That's a big one for me that I'm looking forward to. And things like that. So yeah, things that you are celebrating that aren't specifically to do with numbers, weights, etc. The other ones I've got are a bit more to do with hospital type things. So we've got BP, which is your blood pressure. And people going through weight loss surgery tend to either have high blood pressure or low blood pressure, and they have some different things. Specifically, talk to your doctor about these things, because a lot of people that I've read about post-surgery have started to get low blood pressure, and that's something that you need to monitor. The other one is RHR, which is your resting heart rate. The other two things that aren't acronyms but that I do want to talk about and give meanings to, that come up a lot in our Facebook group that I belong to, is a stall. A stall is when you have gone more than a couple of weeks without losing weight. If you've only gone 2 days without losing weight, it's not a stall. It may feel like a stall, but it's not. And it may turn into a stall. But don't get discouraged post-surgery if you go a couple of days without losing weight, if you go a week without losing weight. Bodies are weird. They do weird things. Sometimes you'll find that your measurements are going smaller, but the scale's not moving. So please don't try not to get discouraged. And the very last one that I have on my list is something that I've only seen really in the New Zealand and Australian language. I've watched a lot of videos from Americans, and they don't seem to use this term, but I actually really like it, and it's called the loser's bench. And so when you're on your weight loss journey, you're a loser, but in a positive way, because you're losing weight. And your losing bench is basically the day you have surgery. So that would be your loser's bench day, so LBD. I hope that was in any way helpful, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.